What is going on, Phillies fans? Welcome into the Fighting's Final right here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I'm Big Al. Talked to you last night, a little bit of the wrap up with Matty B and Mike Laro, with the looking forward to this second half of baseball, and talked about how everything what changes need to be done, what differences we need to see, and right now this wasn't the greatest start to the second half because it felt a lot like the first half. For those who are just joining me, the Phillies fell to the Los Angeles Angels 6-5 after having a decent start, a good starting couple innings with Luzardo, good pinch count. Kyle Schwarber with another first inning home run to kind of set the tone of the game. At least we thought it was the tone of the game. Just didn't pan out the way we would hope it would. And with a 6-5 loss, and I'm sure we got a ton of comments, which we're going to get over with. But personally, like I said, it's a tough situation not to be excited about this team, but at the same time not to be doubtful of this team because a lot of the same things. Tonight was one of those nights. Again, Luzardo, came out like gangbusters when he started the season, and has had some clunkers, and he got better, and then had some clunkers, and then not tonight. Tonight was not the night for him. It's just and pitching all around. Every time the Phillies got ahead or made some leeway, they would come back and do the do the same thing. It was just they would let up a run. It was just a couple go over some of the good stuff I guess you saw, but it's disappointing to literally start this season the way the way it ended the first half. I mean, that's the key factor here. The way it ended the first half. I mean, the one thing is, and I'm seeing some comments here. I'm going to start backwards here. We'll get to the other ones in a moment. The way the Phillies just seemed to grasp defeat out of the jaws of victory. Kind of get it backwards. But Harper did show up tonight. He had 2 home runs from him tonight. If you want to take any victory laps of the 4 or 5 days off from the All-Star break, getting some time. Schwarber, picking up right where he left off from that part, that was good. JT continued to hit better. I mean, because JT's got a lot of heat, but he's been in the month of July. I mean, his numbers are one of the best in Major League Baseball right now. So hopefully he can continue. The one name I'm kind of tired of talking about, and I usually don't get on guys like this, but I'm just so over Max Kepler. I'm just over him. I am over Max Kepler. And I don't know if it's they keep forcing him to be out there. I don't know whose fault it was, but it just screams that this, like we talked about last night, it has to be something has to happen. Some changes need to be had for this team to do anything. And that is that to me is the problem. If they don't do something about that, they're just gonna continue to have these issues. And it's just gonna be it's gonna be a lot like last year. I said last night, if they don't make any real changes, they're gonna continue to have nights like this. They're gonna win probably the division. I think they can win the division still, the way they're built. Because their starting pitching is good. And even Jesus Luzardo being not as good as he was at the beginning is still a pretty good pitcher. And if he's our number 5 guy, number 5 guy, I'm okay with that. That's not the worst thing. Let's see a couple more of these here. Anyone think this team has any hope of becoming anything this year? Should watch the incompetence on display by the manager tonight. I don't know about that one. This was not good for Jesus Luzardo. I think he was tipping pitches. I don't know if he was tipping pitches, but it's like he's a guy who gets rattled. His cage gets rattled. That's what it looks like to me, Star Wars. And when his cage gets rattled, I mean, like he lets up a hit or he lets up a home run, the next guy gets a hit. It just seems like he kind of gets in his own way. MVP for Schwarber, that's great. MVPs mean nothing to me at this point. I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just it's all about winning the World Series. And you want to fire Rob right now. Tonight made me even more anxious for the trades at the deadline. Got to make a move. Steve, I mean, it has to be. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. Something has to happen. There's no way around it. There's no way around it at this point, because if we don't like have some changes, and it's like, I don't want to say major changes, but there's got to be some really good changes. There's got to be better than just what they've done over the last years. They have to get a really good bullpen arm and a good bullpen arm. And I kind of said like a Tanner Banks for a kind of style pitcher for the number 2, but we need another pitcher, a closer with some assigned duties. I think that's also part of the problem. I agree with Matty B on that. I just don't like this. Nobody knows what they're doing. Star Wars is done with Stott and Kepler. I get the Stott. I mean, I can deal with Stott to a point. But I just don't know what to do with Kepler. I mean, Stott's, at least his defense is there. And if you put him in the 9 hole, I'm okay with it. Tell him that be Johan Rojas. Just bunt, get on base. I don't care. You don't have to stop trying to rake every time. Stop trying to hit over the wall. Like Stott, that can be, I think, fixed. Put him in the 9 hole. Tell him to get on base. Let him do what he does, and I think that'll be fine. Kepler's just he's out there just waddling away, just waiting away, doing nothing, and he could see he's anxious. You can hear the fans booing him. I mean, he's getting straight booed anymore, and it's not like he doesn't deserve it. And I hate to see guys get like that. He just hasn't had a good year. He had barely anything for us to cheer for. Yeah, Nooms, fun would not be the name I would use in this case. Luzardo was trade value, people. Luzardo was trade value, people. Home run derby today. No, it wasn't home run derby today, but I mean, there was a bunch of home runs. I mean, but it's just pitching was a problem again, and they took too long to put Sosa in. And they have to find an answer for Kepler, and soon, because you're going to keep losing games like this. And these are the kind of games when you're in the hunt. Now you're going to look at the standings right now. You're 55-42. You got to look at the standings now. I used to say to you guys all the time, don't worry about what the standings say. Plenty of baseball to play. That conversation's over. Has 6 outs, and they send a worthless bunch of jackasses to plate, not MLB players. I can agree with that with Kepler. I think Sosa can come up big when need to be. Not every day, not an everyday player. I think that's harsh. I'm going to go with the harshness on that, Hebert. Brian Pumper was right once again. Those words he said, not me. These lineups length is not World Series caliber. And that's my point. Move Bowman and Cassie down. Where are you going to move them to? Who are you moving up? Like that, it's easy to say move this guy down, move this guy up. But I'm okay with I'm not all right. Let me rephrase that. I want a guy. I want them to go trade for a left fielder or a center fielder or something, because obviously they're not bringing Crawford up, and I don't think now he's going to come up unless if they don't trade him. Maybe it's after the trade deadline. They bring him up in late July, early August. I don't know. But I need a guy who's I'm tired of seeing Schwarber at the number 2. Can I just say that? I'm tired of seeing Schwarber at the number 2. It's got to be Turner. Go get somebody for left field who can. I don't want a home run hitter. I just want a guy who puts the ball in the play. Put the ball in play, spray the ball around the field. Number 3, Harper. Number 4, Schwarber. And then you can have your Casty. You can have your JT. And then your Casty, your JT, your Bohm. Stott, whoever it ends up being at that point. But that's what needs to happen. Who's the Phillies' fifth star with Mick Abel being sent down? Aaron Nola, hopefully coming back up. I don't know. I'm not really worried about a fifth starter as much at this point, because come the playoffs, that's not as big a deal. But they have to make the playoffs first. DFA Stott and Kepler. You're not going to DFA Stott. Kepler, fine. You're not going to do anything with that. 2008 Phillies record: 97 games, 55 and 42. Yeah, I know. It's we forget these things. That's why I try not to panic. I really don't. But it is a clear sign of something needs to happen. It's a clear sign that the Phillies need to make a move, make some decent changes. And I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to pay the price. I'm not sitting there saying sell the farm, but they do need to make changes. Because I agree with you, Nooms. This team can go to the playoffs. This team can maybe go to the NLDS, CS, maybe where it's configured right now. If everybody's playing better, like if JT continues to get hot and stay warm and hot, then maybe. But to get the whole enchilada, they not with this bullpen. No, just not with his bullpen, and not with Kepler having to bat every night. 2 home runs from Austin Hayes tonight. Yeah, I guess. Ryan, what's up, buddy? At this point, I'm willing to part ways with prospects except Painter to get needed bats and BP arms. This team is World Series or bust. I agree with you. Painter, I'm willing to give up anybody if the price is right. Painter's had Tommy John already. He's a prospect. He hasn't pitched an ounce in baseball now. He's got a lot of clout around him, a lot of talk that he's, the next best whatever. But if the price is right, I'll move JT. I'll move Painter. I'll move him. I'm okay with that. Phillies homer stay getting egg on face. All right, Pumper. JT up. Yeah, he is up right now. He's much better than he's been. Crawford and Painter, in my opinion, won't be up until next spring training. I don't think we'll see anything about Painter. I don't think Painter comes up here at all, outside maybe a September call up just to give him a taste of it. Trade Ranger. Now, at this point, at one point, I would agree with you about trading Ranger, but can this team go in a deep run without Ranger? Nola's questionable. Luzardo now we can see has flaws. So who's your number 2 and number 3 guy? That's Ranger. Sanchez and Ranger are going to have to carry you at this point. JT and Trey put ball in play. Yeah. Al, the Phillies are lucky that the MLB has been so mediocre the last few years. I know what you're saying, Barb. I do. I wouldn't say that. I just think it's the way baseball has become nowadays. Like, a lot of the analytical stuff has cost teams play. We're not the complaints we have. We're not the only teams having it. We just hyper focus on the Phillies because that's our team and that's who we pay attention to. But there is no team running away with it. But a lot of teams have dealt with a lot of injuries. There's a lot of teams of guys who are aging and not being able to play as far as deep in the seasons as they used to, or get cold like our team has. I worry about Bryce. Bryce, can we injury prone? Are we going to slap that tag on him? Ricky, thank you for watching as always. The difference with 2008 team is that this 2025 team, as the 08, had heart and dog and had a bullpen and a real manager. Now, I'll agree with the bullpen. It's really hard for me to agree with people when we say this team doesn't have heart. I don't think this team is a heartless team. I really don't. I think it's kind of I think that's just slapping a simple tag on something that's not there. I think this team has heart. I think they get flustered at times, and they are a team that's very much in sync with each other. Because when one's good, when one or two are doing good, the rest do good. But one or two are doing bad, the rest are bad. But to say they don't have heart, I can't agree with. And let me tell you something. All the hate that Tomper gets right now, Charlie Manuel got that same hate for a very long time until he won in 2008. So revisionist history a little bit. Y'all don't get it, laugh out loud. This team stinks. Y'all sell at the deadline. Don't kid yourself. Bri, listen, man. Your opinion's your opinion. I'm not going to sit here and fight with you, but they are not the worst team in baseball. This team does not stink. There's probably at least 25 teams in baseball who would love to be in the Phillies position right now, even with their bullpen flaws, even with their at times cold bat issues. There's 25 other organizations, most likely, who would swap positions with the Phillies. This team has the ability to make changes. And it's easy for people on the other side, call other people homers and to be negative because the odds of any team, or I'm sorry, the odds of odds of one team winning the World Series, fluctuate. And it's easy to say a team's going to lose versus a team's going to win the World Series because you're one out of 32 teams now. Granted, probably one out of 12 teams now, 15 teams. But still, it's easy to sit there and say they're going to lose because no matter what happens is if the team falls apart like they did last year, if they do another 2022 type thing where they make it far but just fall apart at the last minute, you get to go, I was right. But if they win, guys like you, Bri, just be quiet for a little bit. Just like when Jalen Hurts, MVP of the Super Bowl, did his thing, guys like you got quiet and then reappear. This team doesn't stink, but this team has flaws that need to be fixed and need to be answered. I'm not trading Crawford as we have no center fielder now. We have to go out and sign next season, one or run back Marsh and Rojas next season. Michael Papernick, if the right price is there, I am. And again, it has to be the right price. And you're gonna ask me what's that price? I don't know off the top of my head. But if you can find yourself a really good outfielder and put Marsh in center field and a really good left fielder, and you have Castellanos, I don't hate that. And not just a rental. I don't hate that at all. The only reason I say keep Painter is because Wheeler already said he's done after 2027. That would be perfect timing for Painter to be a full-time starter. But just like you said, if the price is right, the price is right. And again, I know we have all these Painter expectations, but we don't know what Painter's going to be. We don't know what Painter's going to be. Wheeler's retiring in 2 years. Rangers 80% gone after this year. It's the price, and if they're willing to pay it, because we know better than anybody that his injury history is what it is. I saw the Mets have used 39 pitchers so far. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I said that last night. Like, they asked me who wins. Do the Mets or the Phillies win the division? And I said I feel the Phillies would be the division because they have the pitching to carry if the bats go cold, even with the bullpen struggling. It's the other way around for the Mets. The Mets have bats, but if they go cold, they don't have pitching to carry them, and that's a problem. All sports are mediocre when there's 30-plus teams. You're right, unfortunately. This Philly hasn't had a homegrown position player since Rollins and Utley and Howard, so I'm not trading Crawford. And I get it. And I don't want to trade Crawford. Let me be abundantly clear. That is not what I'm not doing. But I'm picking up and I'm listening to every phone call. I'm listening to every option, every person's offer. And if it's right, I'm doing it. I get the whole homegrown thing, but then I don't. I know we had a lot of homegrown guys when we won 2008. But we can get we can win without having a homegrown team. It's more about going out and signing a superstar every year you have to worry about. If you can go get a guy at a trade deadline, um, a Mason Miller, guys who have a couple of years left on their contract and arbitrations and all that kind of stuff. That is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking just for a rental, unless we feel like this rental is like a world beater, a Shohei Ohtani type person. This team is Fugazi. Okay, that's your opinion. We like the Mets. No, we don't. We croak. I mean, I guess you mean we choke a lot. Star Wars. Unfortunately, this team does drop the ball a lot in moments, and it just it is. This team is a lie. All right, man, they're not winning jack. Jalen got. Oh my God, Bry, dude. Listen, man. There's just some guys, and I love you, Bry. I really do, and I respect you, and I love talking to you, and I love having conversations with you. I've seen you around enough, and talked to you enough. But sometimes I feel some people are just so wanting to be right versus looking at ways of fixing the problem. And if there's something there, like you seem like the kind of guy that cuts the nose to spite the face type situation. Like, well, we have an ant problem. Well, burn the house down. That's my thing. Is like this team has abilities. If Bryce Harper is playing at his normal level, he's really good and can carry a team. If Kyle Schwarber keeps playing the way he does, he's really good and can help carry a team. JT's getting hotter. It can be really good and help this team. Turner has been having a phenomenal year and continues to do so. Doesn't look like anything's changed, and that could be a huge piece. Nick Castellanos continues to do what he does. We'll be okay with him too. We just need guys to stop playing long ball when they get under stress. Just get the ball in play. Get a guy on base, move people around. When they struggled early in the year, when they had some struggles, what did they do to get out of them? They played small ball. They got guys on base. They manufactured runs. That's what they had to do. That's all they had to do, and they made it happen. Listen, us and Mets are jokes. Star Wars, no, we're not. We're battling at the top of a division right now, and you can make all the comments about the division you want. I mean, the Braves have definitely fallen off, so it makes it more of a two-dog race at this point in time, unless the Marlins could decide to get hot or the Nats or something and really put on a show. But, or even the Braves. But, again, we're still tops. Even if, like, let me look at the wild card standings. Let's talk about that for a second. Like, I understand we're upset that this team lost tonight. I really am. But to sit here and like just it's poo poo. If they came back and won this in the ninth inning and tied it up and then won it, I feel like this would be a different conversation. Oh, what a great win! Great win! Just, coming out the All-Star break, looking really good. It's just funny. I get it. We're living in the moment. We're living for the now. Right now we are tied with the Mets for the division, but outside of the Brewers, we are better than every other team that's in the wild card run. So even if we got knocked down, we'd still be the top of the wild card run. So no, we're not jokes. We can make jokes of ourselves and look foolish. They're still a damn good team. Trying to figure out how people can assess the Phillies are somehow in parallel universe as the Eagles, smoking some great stuff. Drug dealer phone number now. Give it up. I'm not comparing them. Noobs, are you asking me if I'm comparing them? I'm not comparing them. I just was using that because Pumper was one of the guys who hated on Jalen, who just won the MVP. That was just my comparison. Just wanting to be right versus saying they're wrong when they're wrong. All right, we're not getting into the Jalen Hurts conversation. Ryan, I don't know. I'm kind of behind here. I don't know what you agree upon, but thank you or agree with somebody else. Brandon Marsh, not a center fielder. Alfonso. He's not. Listen, he is a center fielder. He's not the greatest center fielder, but he can defensively play the game. If we found somebody who needed to play left field, who would significantly improve the lineup, that I can live with. If Brandon Marsh plays at bats as he does in the 8 hole with as he's currently doing or better, I could deal with him in center field if the left fielder is a dramatic improvement. It's funny how they heard a lot of people be more and more willing to part ways with prospects as we get closer to the deadline. Well, I think watching this team, Steve, trip at the finish line in 2022, and then just keep tripping more and more further away from the finish line, and the exit that they had last year with being embarrassed by the Mets. People are learning prospects are prospects. I mean, Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott couldn't part ways with, and guys will get part ways with them now. This standing ovation generation of fans make me sick. What are you talking about? Who's doing a standing ovation? I don't I don't even know what the hell you're talking about at this point. Are you just throwing things out there? Are you old man yelling at cloud type situation right now? Like I don't know. Like, what do you mean? I'm not talking about doing a standing ovation. I'm talking about selling prospects, making tough decisions, and getting good players in here who can possibly get this team over that hump where you don't think they suck or they're a lie or a fraud or whatever it is, because this team has that capability. So don't sit here and tell me the standing ovation thing. All right, that happened once. That was nothing. Get past it. Get over it. And it changed. It turned the guy around. And ever since then, he's gotten better. So I'm not saying it's going to work with everybody, but that one-time moment, it did work. Mets are on one leg and one arm right now. Yeah, they are. And that's, we're allowing them to stay in it. Now, why the big deal over hosting all the All-Star games next year? It was announced years ago, for God's sake. Well, I mean, it's it's merchandise, Barb. That's what it is. I mean, they put it out there they put the logo out there. You can go to the Majestic store and buy the hats with the logo on it. That's what it is. I mean, the All-Star game's over. Next year is 2026, which is the 250th anniversary of our great nation. And yeah, they're starting to peacock now, because I know it was announced a couple of years ago and we all knew it was coming, but now that we're the next in line now, so you can't we're gonna put the hat out now for 2026 and 2025 hasn't happened yet, so we're 2024s, and no, it's merchandise. That's what it is. They booed Romano today. Well, I don't blame him at the time. Tanner McKee wins the same Super Bowl 10. Oh my God. Pump, dude. I know now you're trolling me, bud. Now you're trolling me. Come on, man. So would you listen to an offer and another team in a trade for Harper if it meant really good players under control and prospects? I'd listen to any offer. I would listen to any offer, but nobody could afford it. Nobody could afford it. Nobody's gonna give up their whole team. And what team? You need player. We want to win now. So the offer would have to give us win now. We're not. If we were sellers and we were getting rid of pieces at the trade deadline, we weren't worried about going to a playoff or a World Series run, that's a different story. But you want more than just a bunch of good players for Bryce Harper. You need stars or stars in the making, and maybe a prospect, and somebody to take on his contract too. That's also would make it difficult. It's a shame that Harper retired himself from playing outfield, because he could move Cassidy to left, have Harper in right, and rotate in center. Plus, home run hitting first base are easier to find. Harper said if he would, he would. If he had to, he would. I don't think he's retired himself. At first, I think he kind of came off that way. But if I think they bought I'm trying to think who's like a big bat first baseman. I don't know, but if their idea was to bring a guy in who would stack this lineup and it made the right move, I think they'd do it. I don't think that would be an issue, especially for at least if he was a rental. Can we play Kemp more? Otto Kemp, yeah. I mean, I would rather see him out there than Kepler. Phillies sat one. Brianna, Philly. I don't know what that means. Aren't we like 2 or 3 games away from being on the outside looking in? Right now, if we were in the wild card, let me pull this up here. We'd be one. No. Hold on. Yeah, we'd be one game behind the Milwaukee for the top spot, and San Diego would be 2 games behind us. No, we're 2 games. I'm sorry, we'd be 2 games out. So, yeah. I mean, no. Listen, that's what we were talking about last night. That this isn't anybody's anybody's at all. I mean, nobody's running away with it. Nobody even has 60 wins yet. I mean, you got Chicago with 58, Los Angeles with 58. Us and the Mets both have 55, and the Milwaukee has 56. And then after that, San Diego at 53 and below. So yeah, this is anybody's game. That's why I'm saying winning the division is really important this year. Like, you can't fall on your laurels and hope to just get a wild card spot. You really can't. Our fans are soft now. But you don't have to answer this question, but how old are you? I really just want to know, how old are you from, like, 30, 40, 50? Like where did your Philly sports fandom start? The fans are soft. What are you talking about fans being soft right now? What in this conversation? I haven't even touched on this game itself. For anybody who's joining us, the Phillies lost 6-5 to the Angels in the first game of the series, first game back from the All-Star break, after they announced, of course, the official logo, which I think I do have a copy of. I'll put it up on the screen to talk about it. But what does fans being soft right now have to do with anything? I don't give a shit how soft our fans are right now. I give a shit about our players in the field. That's what I care about. Who's in the field, who's managing them, and what's happening. Softness of fans mean nothing. You know who I'm talking about, Al. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Mets Grand Slam coming. I don't know what that means. Philly. Okay. The daycare ruined the baseball team, a group of bums. Daycare's over. I mean, that was something they kind of came out with this year. We're no longer the daycare. We've been around long enough. Listen, Star Wars, he can say what he wants. I'm never going to silence somebody to feel the way they want to feel about something. Sometimes I feel guys troll. Sometimes I feel guys do things just to get a rise out of the host and make a joke. And sometimes people just want to be right more than they want to win World Series and Super Bowls and look it and break it down. But I mean, I don't know. Nobody likes it. We do care. That's a lie. We do care, because when somebody doesn't like us, we all get fired up and we talk about it. Cream usually rises. I don't expect to stay this close. Yeah, I mean, again, we are close to we're more than halfway through. There's 60 some games, right? 60 some. We're 100 and I'm sorry, we're 97 games into the season. So, yeah, we're 60 some games left. So, yeah, it's a little bit more of a sprint than a marathon now. But I don't expect it to stay this close. But we do have some tough sledding ahead of us, and they need to win these games and win these series. I can't believe how bad Trout looks now. He looks done outside of a few hot streaks. So here's a funny thing. I'm not saying do this. This is I regret saying this out loud sometimes. But if the Angels were willing to eat a lot of his contract and it wouldn't cost you a lot of key players, I would take a flyer on Mike Trout. And hear me out on this. Put him in left field. It's not the greatest defensive outfielder, but put him in left field. Can't be any worse than Kepler in my eyes. Put him in the lineup at number 2 in this lineup, and having guys like Schwarber. Like right now, he's a one-man band. He's a couple good players around him, but no stars. Like on a team with Harper and Schwarber and Castellanos, does that take a little heat off him? Allow him to just play baseball again? Could Trout be a good addition? Now, I'm not saying doing it, and I'm not willing to give up any big pieces for him, but just the hypothetical implanting him in that scenario, would Mike Trout be good for the Phillies for at least this year, next year? I'm almost 40. Okay. All right. So me and you are close in age. I'm 42. So within a few years of each other. We've been through a lot of the same ups and downs. We've been, even though the Eagles had great runs in the early 2000s, we all tripped the finish line. 2008 was a miraculous year because 2008 happened quickly because we kept chasing that dragon in 2009, got really close, and then 2010 with the 4 aces and 11, and things just fell off. But you don't seem like I don't know what you're talking about. I expect greatness. No more guys with the mentality of banana peels. I expect greatness too, but I also don't expect perfection, because in a game of baseball where a guy, if he's batting 30%, is having a career year, we have to understand that, especially in baseball. It's good to expect greatness, but greatness does not mean perfection. Greatness could be one moment, one time, one minute aspect in the whole time frame fabric of the world to achieve greatness. It's about rising to the moment when the moment's there. But that doesn't mean this team's a lie and these guys are sucky and you should trade all the pieces away. But I agree with you. That's where we stand lock and step to agree on. I expect greatness. I expect this team to play hard and this team to play the best themselves. But even a team that plays hard and the best themselves can fall. Sir, there's more Philly fans like me. Brian, I know there's a lot of Philly fans. Many of them I'm good friends with. People I've known my whole life, family members. I myself was very hard-nosed, just if you win, you lose, you lose, you win, win or lose. I mean, that is the keys to the game. It's to win or lose, win everything. You start the season to win the World Series and only to win the World Series. But at the same time, after one falter, I'm not cutting my nose off to spite my face. Now, the Angels have a few guys with 20 home runs. They do. I'm not sitting there saying they're a bad team. That he has nobody around him. But he is the show. Like, you take Mike Trout off the Angels team, they have an okay, mediocre team. And they are. What are they at right now? Let me see. Hold on. What are they? Angels are 48 and 49. They're already 500 right now. Take Mike Trout off the team. Pump is not happy with the ovation. The Embiid post mortem changes of opinion of the general positive disposition of teams and players. They have not really earned it. Okay. All right. Let me ask this question to you guys, because I really need to get into some of these stats here from the game and talk to you guys about that. The game. I mean, I'm a little off it. We won't do much. We'll diverge a little bit from the norm tonight. We kind of know how everything played out, but I do, because I'm enjoying this conversation with everybody. I mean, again, everybody, even you, Brian. I mean, you go back and forth a lot, but even you. But there's nothing wrong with cheering on a guy, especially if they're down. When you know they have the ability. If a guy's in a slump or just having a bad time or having a time adjusting to a new team or whatever the problem is, I'm not sitting there, everybody standing ovation, because if you keep doing it for everybody, it kind of loses its pizzazz. It loses its ability to get a guy to rise, because like every time you think just clapping is going to do it. But this thought process of not supporting a team if they're not doing well is wrong. You need to support. There has to be some emotional support. Like, let me ask you, if your kid is in school, right, and they're struggling with, like, I'll give you a real life example. My son, he's 16 years old, and he has some difficulty with certain subjects in school, and one of them's chemistry. Okay, his name is Venino. He's 16, like I said, and I'm really good with chemistry. I'm very my what I do for a full time is science based. And I work with him, and he's been down because it took him a lot. We finally got him up. I mean, he's not getting hundreds on everything, but he's getting he's understanding what he's doing, and he's doing good, not just good enough to pass, but he's doing good, and he's learning, and he's actually getting confidence in himself to be better, and that he's kind of taken it on his own and was able to really cross the finish line really well. Now, did he get hundreds on everything? No. But did he go from a guy who could barely pass to who looked like he was going to fail it to a guy who's in the 80s? Yeah, and I supported him. And I know it's a little different. It's not the same thing and blah, blah, blah. But why can't – there's nothing wrong with supporting somebody or a team maybe when they're not at their best, because that's when they need it the most. When Bryce Harper's smashing home runs every game and Schwarber's doing the same thing and Wheeler's mowing people down and every other pitcher and the bullpen is lights out constantly, do they need motivation as much? Do they need a standing ovation? No. It's when a team's down or a person's down. Embiid is everything wrong with an athlete. We've been defending this clown for years. Crazy how he just turns his back on us. Listen, we're not perfect. And we forget these guys are human. Pump. We do. We really forget these guys are human. We don't know who Embiid is outside of what we've known in front of us, fully. He is a diva, and he's a little bit of an emotional basket case in some ways. And I did support him in a case because he really was and is, even outside of his major continued injured issues. When healthy, he's one of the most talented people, especially at his size. He's kind of a talented freak in some ways. But the problem is he can't stay healthy, and it mentally affects him, and he makes bad decisions. And I agree. I'm over Joel Embiid, and you can take your victory lap on that one because I know you've been saying it for longer, and this is where you were right about it. I thought it was us, people being a little harder on him, and the guy having just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. But now we're seeing some of him, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of, I get it. Can't even beat the Angels bullpen game. Listen, in baseball, we always say in football any given Sunday, but most times the better team's going to win. Most times. I mean, there's upsets. Don't get me wrong, but in 162 games, even the Colorado Rockies win some games. Okay, there is 22 times they won games against players. Does that mean that the 22 times they were the better team? No. They were the better team at the moment. You are, except for Jalen Hurts, Bry. Our best player is Schwarber, Turner, and JT. Well, right now, you wouldn't say that about JT a couple of weeks back, would you? Al made his zone recite Alvarado's number. Oh, I forgot. I thought Alvarado. What? What do you think of Will Vierlich's pick on last Sunday? I'm not really worried about that right now. What about? Yes, I saw that. Cooper DeJean is my favorite Eagle, and he's such a down, really good player too. Again, I'm trying to stick to the Phillies on here, Bar. But if anybody's seen the picture, if you follow me on Twitter at Big Al at Big Al Sports with a Z, I retweeted it. The Eagles tweeted earlier. He had like a suit jacket where it's like stitched in like his number and the Super Bowl logo and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You got to check it out. But real quick, let's do the Broad Street. Let's just take a ride down the Broad Street bottom line for a moment. All right, guys, Broad Street bottom line. Bottom line is they lost today. The bottom line is this team has flaws that we're well aware of, and this team needs to, and this organization needs to, and it's on Dombrowski. I said it last night for anybody who watched. If you haven't, go back and watch it. It's worth a watch still. It's on Dombrowski this year. As much as we want to hate on Tomper at times and, give Harper a hard time or say, the bullpen sucks. Well, bullpen sucks because the bullpen moves were shitty, and they try to bargain basement some of these players. So, in my eyes, it's on Dombrowski to make the right changes if this team has any chance of making a real significant run in the playoffs. That's my bottom line, and tonight is a clear picture of it. The bullpen just pitching not being able to lock down. Why does after 4 days off, wouldn't you think they'd be cool to pull Luzardo a little earlier than usual? I know you don't want to, but is it because they don't want to? Go to your bullpen. You don't want to put a Ross in or a Romano in or something along those lines. Those are all reasons why we need moves. And I'm saying 2 bullpen pieces, a good one and a really good one. That's what I'm looking at. Go get Rooker and Miller. If it wouldn't probably cost their entire farm, I'd say do it. But that's my bottom line. And bottom line is brought to you by the great people here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Every Sunday through Thursday, you got the final word with Matty B. Tonight, shortly after, I guess, or maybe coming up soon, the wraparound with Pat Bernard. I'll be kind of going around the Philly sports and talking with you. I'm sure he'll be touching on this. He might be even watching right now for all we know. And then don't forget, Sunday, Pat and Mike are back with me in the background talking about everything Philly sports and trying to keep these knuckleheads in order. And don't forget the attacking third with Steve and Pat. Steve Fidentes talking Union Soccer. So all that great stuff and so much more coming. Here is the lineup for the final tomorrow. Pat, you got a lot of Pat this weekend, guy. You got Pat tonight, Pat tomorrow, Pat Sunday. It's a triple Pat weekend, and then on Sunday, the man, the myth, legend, Matty B will be here to take us home and talk a little down on the farm's course because we're going to be looking at this farm system because we might be changing drastically. So, guys, let's take that trip around the bases and we'll hit some more of those comments. All right, guys, let's look around the league right now. Finals for today: Cubs win 4-1 over the Red Sox in Chicago. The White Sox take a ride down to Pittsburgh and wallop the Pirates 10-1. Of course, the Angels beat the Phillies 6-5 in a back and forth contest, as we just talked about. Padres beat up on the Nationals 7-2 today. Blue Jays won 4-0 over the Giants. The Mets lost 8-4 to the Reds today in New York. The Guardians won 8-6 over the Athletics. Marlins beat the Royals 8-7. Braves beat the Yankees 7-3. And the Rays just beat up on the Orioles 11-1 today in Tampa. And right now, going on mid-eighth, looks like a real pitcher's duel going on. Rangers and Tigers in Texas right now going on. In the middle of the eighth, so some barn-burning baseball going on right now. Rockies are up 5-1 over the Twins in the mid-sixth. They might make it 23 wins, guys. Doesn't mean they're going to be great. And Diamondbacks are up 3-0 on the Cardinals. Top of the third. Right now, top of the first, just starting. Astros and Mariners and Bruins and Dodgers are in LA at 0-0 at the end of the first. Diamondbacks are the team to watch in my eyes, and I'll tell you why. Not because I think they're going to make their way into the playoff. I think their division's just too tight, too deep. It's just too hard for them to stack up enough wins divisionally. Trade prospects. There are some pieces on the Diamondbacks that could really fit well with this Phillies team. So just keep an eye on them. They keep losing. That's good for us. You know what I mean? Let's see some of these comments. Cooper DeJean is my favorite Eagle. He's such a doll and really good player, too. Absolutely. DeJean is a vet in a rookie's body. I mean, it feels like that. Him, Quignon, a lot of these guys really stepped up. I mean, how many guys have already kind of made themselves household names on the Eagles that have only been in this team about 2 to 3 years? Football's coming, yes, we know that. Pump and Matty need to be in the same bowling team without question. I don't know. Oh, my God. I don't know about it. I would not want to be the guy in between the seat on the plane of those two. July 31st is the start of preseason. Absolutely. Wow, Verlander looks done too. Yeah, I think Father Time has really caught up with Verlander. I mean, if he's somebody's 5, it helps you get you through. Having him in the bullpen maybe in the postseason, just with his experience, might be worthwhile. But yeah, no, it's tough. We need to pump the brakes for NFL. No, we don't. We can talk about it. That's why October is literally my dream month. If Phillies are in the playoffs, the Eagles are a month into it. Hockey starting up. Sixers, if you care at the time. I mean, I like basketball. Just it's hard to get behind this organization. Yep, got to call the D-backs. They have some players we could really use. No, absolutely, Barb. And you brought up, I think it was Gallon last night. There's an option too. But they have they have fielders and pitchers that we could use if they're willing to part ways with it. Who are coming up on contract years. So it could be something worthwhile. Guys, that's about it for me tonight. I want to thank you all for joining me. I know it was a little different. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at by Matty B for not going over the stats like I usually do in this situation. We kind of really got off on the tangents here. But the Phillies and the Mets are tied for the division right now, 55 and 42. And so it's important to watch. So guys, please stay tuned. We got a lot more coming, a lot more new things coming along, as Maddie talked about last night. So if you missed the All-Star break roundup discussion with me, Mike Laro, and Maddie B, go check it out on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and anything else, Twitter, whatever you watch. Other than that, guys, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining me on this Friday night. It's a joy as always. Thank you to even the ones who give me a hard time. I love you to death. Barb's always good to talk to you. Star Wars. Can we use some Baltimore players? We could, and I could definitely see them trading with Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore's definitely a team that's going to be trading away, not bringing people in. But we'll find out. Other than that, guys, have a great night. See you next time, and ring that bell.